I noticed this clip, and I haven't. I thought this clip was pretty profound, and I wanted to
Your
review it really
church
quick.
either has an altar or it has a stage. A stage, we know what is that. It's performance. It's what makes me feel good. There could be beautiful music playing, beautiful worship songs, right? But at the end of the day, that's a stage. Every apostolic tradition has an altar. And in our tradition, we're all facing one direction. We're facing Christ. So we are worshiping. And every early church, every Christian tradition that predates 1500, all believed the Eucharist is the true body and blood of Christ. This was the center of our worship. St. Paul actually says in 1 Corinthians chapter 11, he said, you guys are meeting for the wrong reasons. Some of you are coming drunk. Some of you are coming hungry. Some of you are coming full. You are not coming to partake of the Lord's Supper. This is what worship is. The whole point of worship was to partake of the Lord's Supper. Everything else was secondary. In Acts chapter 2, it says there was 4 things that they kept steadfastly. The apostles' doctrine, in fellowship, in the breaking of bread, which is the communion, and in prayers. Constantly. In Acts 20, verse 7, it said, on the first day of the week, when the disciples came together to break bread. Breaking bread is not breakfast. To have communion. And this is how we know Christ.
Yeah. I think he had, I mean, there's a lot of great points in there, but I think, the fact that he has noticed that worship services, Christian worship services in a lot of evangelical, non-denominational churches, big mega churches, has really turned into a performance, oriented event. That is damning. It's really, really bad. And we need to take a sober assessment and realize how far we've drifted and come away from, the essence of what should be taking place on Sunday mornings when we gather to meet together to have a Christian worship service. There's just like, it's gotten to the point where it's basically a rock concert and a TED talk and, or like a, some sort of, seminary level lecture, and the truth is, this is not what the church has always practiced. And it's based on an entertainment model. It's not of church. It's based on entertainment, on amusement. And this is not the way of Jesus. This is not Christianity as it's always been understood. This is a narcissism, spiritual narcissism that has infiltrated our churches. And it's many times rooted in fear of people not coming to our services, people not wanting to come to our services, people not having a good time or not feeling comfortable or whatever it is. It is rooted in man. It is not rooted in God. And our church services need to be first and foremost about God. There should not be a stage mentality in the church. There should be an altar mentality in the church. There should be a mentality that when we come to church, we come to worship God. We come to sacrifice to God. We come to offer praise, the sacrifice of praise to God. But we also offer the atonement to God. And through Jesus Christ, we proclaim, every time we take communion, we proclaim the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus. We proclaim the work of Christ, and that it is primarily about worshiping God and having an encounter with God. And every time we come to church, that should be the essence: exalting God, lifting God up, not creating a sort of spiritual amusement park. so that people can come and have their fun times and, drop their kids off at kids ministry and sip their latte while they sit in the service and listen to Sweet Nothings while the band plays in the background. I mean, whatever. It's not biblical. That's man-made religion. As far as I can see, that's man-made religion. That is focused on the person. That's not focused on the Lord. And so because we've been man-centered in our planning, we have created man-centered churches where the gospel is not preached. The Bible is not even preached. People are afraid to talk about, facts of Scripture, Scripture verses themselves. Pastors are avoiding whole swaths of Scriptures because they don't want to offend people. It's turned into something where people are biblically illiterate. And it all comes back to this. I think this is partly the crux of the issue. This is a choice between altar and stage, between an encounter with the presence of God through grace or an amusement style, entertainment based service that is essentially giving you what you could get at a rock concert or at a TED Talk or listening to, some motivational speaker. And I think that is not Christianity. And if the second version is Christianity, I don't want it. I don't want it.